Now, journalist and author Annika Hernroth-Rothstein was herself detained, beaten, and robbed by Maduro-linked forces while reporting from Venezuela just a couple of weeks ago. And she joins us now from her home base of Stockholm, Sweden. And Annika, talk a little about what you experienced in Venezuela.
Well, I've spent a total of a little over a month in Venezuela so far. I'm headed back there in a little under a week to do more reporting. But now, most recently, I was there to cover the arrival of the humanitarian aid to the border of Colombia, when I was stopped along with my driver and my security guy in a little town called San Antonio del Táchira, stopped by colectivos, a paramilitary groups strongly linked to Maduro, where we were placed on the ground, guns to our heads, robbed, beaten, and needless to say, it was a very, very dramatic experience.
How, in your time in Venezuela, following these political events unfolding, how has the Venezuelan government, the Maduro government's treatment of journalists changed?
I would say they're clearly stepping up. I mean, now the arrest of Cody was a very high-profile arrest. The fact that he has worked for a government outlet previously seems to be a very clear sign that no one, and absolutely no one, is off limits. Also, the fact that it happened right after Juan Guaido's return to Venezuela, I think, is probably a sign of something. Many thought that Guaido would be arrested on site, but now he's edging toward a more confrontational approach, let's say. But then again, you know, it's always, over the past 6 years at least, it's been a job for the brave to be a journalist in Venezuela, and it's most dangerous, of course, for the Venezuelan journalists who are doing it day by day and who are working in a much more anonymous environment, and they're victimized almost on a daily basis.
Annika, you said you're planning on going back there. How concerned are you for your own personal safety, if you do?
Well, I mean, you always have to be very, very vigilant. And of course, following my detention and following, you know, my story going viral in Venezuela and me speaking before the National Assembly, I, of course, have failed to keep the low profile that you need in order to stay relatively safe. But I do think that it's more important than ever to go there and to report on this. It's a very underreported issue. A lot of people don't even know what a dire humanitarian crisis this is. But of course, I would be a fool if I wasn't both scared and vigilant.
Annika, what are some of the takeaways or the moments that sort of stand out to you that you heard from the Venezuelan public reporting from there?
Well, I would say that, well, I have so many. First of all, I was surprised to hear how ready they are for a possible foreign intervention, how they're hoping for a foreign intervention. I did not expect that upon arrival. But, you know, there are people who have faced so many disappointments and so much hardship that they today see no other way out. They have an opposition that, quite honestly, have failed them on numerous occasions, completely dropped the ball and lost momentum on at least 3 occasions in the past 3 years. And now they're hoping for a miracle. They're hoping for intervention because they need Maduro gone. And they need hope, any sign of hope, or they're ready. This is, you know, a lot of people tell me that this is our last shot. We don't have it in us to do this and take to the streets once again, because they are, you know, people are literally dying by the day. They are starving to death while the world is watching. All
right, well, as you said yourself, more important than ever now to do that reporting that you're doing.